Most bot developers don't even realize they're making the same mistakes when it comes to building a bot. That is why there is an actual clear reason on why this keeps happening, especially when the whole idea is based on a fantasy that doesn't actually exist. The issue is that most developers want to build a multi-purpose Discord bot. On the surface, it sounds like a good idea at first, especially when you have a bot that handles everything such as leveling, moderation, fun minigames, and many other features. But once you look closer, you start to notice that most of these bots are just generic bots that anyone can make themselves. Like if you're someone just starting out and trying to build a Discord bot that does everything, then your bot probably won't grow much because it will get mixed in with the thousands of other bots trying to do the exact same thing. I get the logic here. These developers want to build a Discord bot that offers free tools so people don't have to rely on multiple bots in their server. However, you could build the best Discord bot in the world, and it still wouldn't mean a damn thing if it gets lost in the crowd and buried among the rest of the bots. This is exactly why I think many bot developers keep making the same mistakes. When you consider how much time and energy you put into building your bot, it's just so damn frustrating when it gets ignored. And most people will never even know your bot existed in the first place because it gets buried under thousands of other generic multi-purpose bots that all have the same basic functions. This is why it doesn't matter how much time and effort you put into the bot. To me, it feels like developers are trying way too hard to appeal to everyone all at once, which ends up being unnecessary. Instead, they should focus on building a bot that solves one specific problem, or better yet, create something new that hasn't already been done before, something that isn't oversaturated, because Discord users have other issues that are being overlooked. For example, I literally made a video about the join search for you permission, but it seems like no one cares, allegedly. At this point, nobody is trying to create a solution so people can rebuild their servers without struggling to get their members back after getting nuked. Instead, we're seeing that most bot developers put all their attention into making multi-purpose bots that try to do everything, which is pointless. And when you think about it, they should realize that you can't satisfy everybody. It's just not possible. However, I'm aware that there are successful, popular Discord bots out there. But that doesn't mean the same strategy is going to work out for you. The multi-purpose bot space is completely oversaturated with bots all trying to do the same thing in hopes of becoming successful, which is exactly why many of these Discord bots end up failing, because they see other bots doing everything and think to themselves that they could do it too by simply trying to make their own bot better than the rest. I'm not saying these Discord bots don't have a shot, but the chances of people actually using them are very low. Like, think about it. If you use it as your bot and then later on add something like Sapphire, that bot is going to be used way more often because it offers better tools for Discord servers, and it's free. So at that point, your bot doesn't really stand a chance, and it just ends up being another unused bot taking up space. This brings me to another issue. Like, let's say a Discord user is already using a better bot for their own server. Your bot, on the other hand, will just sit there and do nothing. And the only thing it does is stay in the server as part of a collection that never actually gets used and starts to become dead weight. And at this point, all the hard work and effort you put into coding the bot starts to feel wasted, because the whole point of creating a multi-purpose bot in the first place is for people to actually use it, right? But if users find other Discord bots that do the same thing, or even better, then it completely defeats the purpose of your bot existing at all. Especially when no one's going to use it. Like, what's the point? Also, most bot developers don't really seem to care as long as their bot is in servers, because to them, that's all that matters. But if your only goal is based on numbers, then your bot is just useless and trash with no real value or purpose. The goal is to always create something people truly want to use and enjoy, not something that just sits there in a server that does nothing. We also need to explain what a multi-purpose bot is and what it's supposed to be about, because usually it means a bot is expected to do everything, which sets high expectations. But here's the catch though, most of these bots don't actually deliver on that. They end up feeling generic with the same basic features you see everywhere else, making it seem like there's no real creativity or originality behind them. For me, when I think of a multi-purpose bot, I'm expecting something like sci-fi with advanced tools, a strong verification system like Wick but improved, and well-developed features for giveaways, tickets, or even mob mail, application forms, and many more. All of this should be advanced and supported by a proper dashboard, not just a bunch of slash commands. That's what I consider a real multi-purpose bot that does everything, not some generic bot that anyone can make. I know it's wishful thinking once you realize that a true multi-purpose bot doesn't really exist, because building one requires massive resources and funding, especially when you consider the hosting costs alone. If you want to keep the bot running online 24/7 and have it handle everything on its own without relying on other bots, it gets very expensive, proving that almost no one has the budget to actually make it happen. And sadly, this explains why creating a Discord bot that can do everything on its own at a high level without relying on other bots takes serious time, money, and a lot of coding. That's probably the real reason we've never had a fully advanced multi-purpose bot, and instead keep seeing the same generic types. But if most developers already know how expensive it is to build a multi-purpose bot for everyone to use, then why still try to build one in the first place, when it just seems like a waste of time? For your bot to even stand out, it has to offer real value, something unique that sets it apart from every other Discord bot doing the same exact thing. And just to be clear, there is a massive difference between being inspired and just being lazy by copying what already exists. I'm not saying you shouldn't take inspiration from other bots. Like, there are plenty of popular and successful ones out there, and it's completely normal for developers to feel motivated by them. But if you're going to build something similar, you need to improve on it and actually make it better in a meaningful way instead of creating another generic bot in an already oversaturated market. The problem is that many developers tend to focus only on making a multi-purpose bot, and because of that, they eventually fall short when it comes to growth. At some point, they need to acknowledge that if a bot doesn't solve a real problem, it doesn't stand a chance, which is why the idea of a perfect multi-purpose bot often feels more like fantasy than a reality. In my conclusion, I think the multi-purpose bot niche is just a label most developers use to make their bots look better on paper. They want their tool to seem nice on the surface by pretending to be advanced, but they're far from it when you really look at them. Most of these multi-purpose bots are just so generic and don't provide anything truly unique to it. Most people might disagree on this, but if you go on YouTube and search how to make a multi-purpose bot, there are plenty of videos showing you how to do it, and many of them don't even require coding skills. And it's not just YouTube, there are other platforms that let you create your own generic multi-purpose bot with no coding experience at all. And because of that, it's actually very easy to make your own generic multi-purpose bot when you have access to these kinds of tutorials and tools you can use. Another thing I want to point out is that not everyone is going to care about what I have to say, and that's perfectly fine. Some people just want to do their own thing by having fun and learn from their own mistakes, which is completely normal because making mistakes is just part of being human. However, there's a difference between learning from mistakes and simply ignoring the bigger picture. Most developers are just going to keep on building these multi-purpose bots, even when it's clearly oversaturated. At the end of the day, some people just won't listen or care, no matter how much you try to explain the situation to them. And look, I'm not here to kill your inspiration or tell you that building a generic bot is a bad thing. Like, if you're going to build these bots because it's fun for you, then that's perfectly fine. You should do what you enjoy, and don't let anyone hold you back from what you love. But you need to acknowledge that the multi-purpose niche is oversaturated with many bots trying to do the same exact thing. Even though there are some really great Discord bots out there that aren't well known, most of them stay under the radar because most of these developers are actually trying to be different and solve new problems to help people. This is the exact type of mindset where real progress starts to happen. So yeah, that's all I have to say, and want to remind you that these are just my opinions, but tell me your thoughts. Do you think it's possible to make the perfect multi-purpose bot that does everything? Or do you think developers need to stop making these bots based on the fantasy? Share your stories in the comments. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more videos.